At 6:12 a.m. on May 3, 2024, I stepped outside with my coffee and froze. Flashing work lights lit up the end of our Cul De Sac like a crime scene. Cold air bit my face. Fresh asphalt stink rolled over the grass. A roller machine beeped and hissed while two guys in orange vests painted bright white lines right across the skinny strip in front of my driveway. One of them pointed at a wooden stake that said visitor parking like it was always there. I blinked hard, thinking I was still half asleep, but then a pickup truck backed into the new box and blocked my car in. I waved my arms and yelled, "Hey, that's my driveway access." The foreman didn't even look sorry. He just shrugged and said, "Talk to the HOA, ma'am." By 7:05 a.m., my phone was buzzing with an email blast from the board. It was short, smug, and signed by our president, Linda. She liked to be called Director Linda, like she was running a small country. The subject line made my stomach drop: community safety improvement. That's when I realized what this was really about. HOA paved over my Cul De Sac driveway strip as visitor parking, then I filed the deed. That strip wasn't some random patch of curb. It was the only clean swing space I had to back out without scraping my bumper. Linda had been mad since I asked her nephew to stop using my trash can. Now she was turning my driveway into a joke with paint and arrogance. I walked down to the wet asphalt and my shoes stuck a little at the edge. I could almost hear my property value crying. I tried to be normal about it. I called the HOA manager at 9:00 a.m. and asked for the work order. He said, "It's already approved, don't worry." Then I went door to door, hoping someone would back me up. Neighbors peeked through blinds like we lived in a spy movie. One lady whispered, "Linda said not to get involved." Another guy told me, "Sorry, I have kids, I can't be on her bad side." At the next board meeting, I stood in the sweaty clubhouse and asked, "Why did you pave over my driveway strip without notice?" Linda smiled like a shark and said, "Visitor parking helps everyone. Stop being dramatic." I asked to see the survey. She tapped her binder and said, "The board has everything it needs." Then she moved on like I was a fly. That night, I drew my line in the sand. I wasn't going to slash tires or yell in the street. I was going to do it the boring way. The way that makes bullies panic. I opened my laptop at 10:41 p.m. and started pulling every email, every photo, every call record. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. I also wrote down every weird thing Linda had done for months, because patterns matter, even when people pretend they don't. Timeline item 1 April 5 at 4:27 a.m. False trespass call. Yes, she called the police because my brother helped me move a couch, and she claimed he was stealing. The officer apologized to me in my driveway like he'd done it before. And I learned a simple truth: patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. So I stopped begging and started building proof. 2 days later, I went to the county office with a notepad and a calm face. The clerk slid my request through the slot, and the file landed with 63 pages. Deeds, plats, easements, all the fun stuff that makes normal people yawn. Not me. I flipped through and found it in plain ink: the strip the HOA paved was part of my lot's recorded access, tied to the original subdivision map. Not HOA common area. Not visitor anything. Mine. I paid a licensed surveyor to mark it, and he showed up on May 9, 2024, at 2:18 p.m. with bright flags and a metal detector like he was hunting treasure. Linda marched over in her tennis visor and snapped, "You can't do that." He didn't even blink. "Ma'am, I'm following the recorded deed." The best part happened on a Saturday, when the whole Cul De Sac was outside washing cars and pretending we're all friends. At 11:30 a.m., Linda tried to hold a walkthrough with her little board crew to show off the new visitor parking. She was mid-speech, pointing like a tour guide, when my surveyor's flags stole the show. People started filming because flags always mean drama. Linda's face went stiff. She said, "Those markers are illegal." I held up the county documents and said, "No, this is recorded. I filed the deed and the plat map. You paved over my property." Somebody laughed, and it wasn't me. A teenager muttered, "Karen got caught." Linda tried to grab the papers from my hand, then remembered cameras exist and pulled back like she touched a hot stove. On Monday, the authority flip hit her hard. I filed a complaint with code enforcement and the county road inspector, and I attached my binder evidence. I also sent a certified demand letter that spelled out the exact footage and asked for removal and restoration. By May 15, 2024, at 3:05 p.m., an inspector showed up, looked at the paint lines, looked at the survey, and nodded once. Then he turned to Linda and said, "This is not approved for private property. Remove it." She tried her usual act, saying she was protecting the community, but the inspector wasn't her neighbor. He wrote a notice on the spot. The HOA got fined $2,500 for unpermitted work, and they had 10 days to fix it. Linda's voice went squeaky when she asked, "Can we appeal?" The inspector said, "You already did the work. Now you undo it." 10 days later, the visitor parking box was gone like it never existed. The HOA paid to grind the paint and redo the edge clean, and they reimbursed me $1,100 for the survey and filing fees. Linda resigned for personal reasons after 3 more complaints landed on the board's desk, and suddenly everyone remembered they had a spine. Neighbors who hid behind curtains brought me cookies and acted like they supported me the whole time. One guy even said, "I'm glad you stood up to her, we were all scared." I just smiled and said, "Next time, don't let fear paint lines on someone else's life." Then I backed out of my driveway with plenty of room, breathed in normal air, and finally tasted my coffee again. Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.